Just a few steps away from the village of Škocjan in Slovenia, a gigantic abyss gapes down into the void. At the bottom far below, there's a river, the Reka, which abandons the surface here to start a long underground journey. A journey of over 50 kilometers into the obscure depths. A journey that today unites two nations, Slovenia and Italy. Passing under the woods of the Karst and then below the city of Trieste to finally spill out into the Adriatic. A unique phenomenon. A mystery that has attracted man from the very earliest times. At first invoking fear, then curiosity, and then finally the desire to know, until it became a myth. Over millennia, the dream has remained the same. Follow the obscure ways of the water below the Karst. Explore the river of the night. The autumn of 1884. A group of men from the Alpverein, the Alpine Club of Trieste, has gone down with their heavy load into the chasm known as the Škocjan Cave. Their aim is to take up the explorations attempted 30 years before, but thwarted by the power of the underground river. A higher passage allows them to bypass the first part of the torrent, even if moving here is rather tricky. Two of them are the explorers, the leaders, while the others are the local farmers asked to join the expedition and help carry the heavy loads, the GrottenarBeiter, or the cave workers. In order to tackle the underground waters, they waited for the dry period, but it's still not enough. They have even invented a boat that can be dismantled. Two pieces are much easier to transport one at a time. The lake is very long and the spaces are increasingly vast. It's really hard to illuminate them. For the first time ever, magnesium torches appear in the cave. Finally past the first giant lake, but this is just the beginning. The low level of the river demands still further effort, but should the water level be any higher, they would be in real trouble. After struggling for long hours along the river, a noise is heard far off. There's no doubt about it, a waterfall. Just the sort of obstacle they really didn't want to run into. Operations are difficult and the risks run high. They're hours from the entrance deep in the bowels of the mountain and have to hope that it doesn't start to rain outside. If they were caught now with the river running full, there would be no way out. The boat is down below the waterfall and the ladders are set up. The last torch has been lit, but there's no turning back. They have to go on now, thrusting through the darkness ahead as best as they can. Below the limestone rock of the karst lies hidden the untold story of the Reka Timavo, the river man has tried to explore for over 2 centuries. First of all, seeking water to quench the thirst of Trieste city, and then, through a wholly human passion to know, to push the boundaries. An epic deed brimming with great endeavors, impossible challenges, failures, and tragedies, so important as to lead to the creation of a whole new science, karst science. The main players, man and caves, the GrottenarBeiter or the cave workers, the search for the unknown, toil, passion, wit. In 1838, after 6 months of heavy excavation work, Antonio Lindner discovered a huge cavern, which allowed access to a section of the underground river, the Cave of Trebisiano. Lindner was looking for water for Trieste, but the river proved to be too deep for this purpose. During the work in the grotto, he spent all his money and fell ill. He died in poverty a few years later. But his work was not in vain. We're finally carrying out what in 1876 the old Adriatic Society of Sciences wished to realize in Trebisiano. That's a scientific station, what we might define today as an experimental underground scientific center. At times, the underground river has taken its toll in human lives. In the cave known as the Foro dell'Esperanza, or the Hole of Hope, a very narrow gap blocked the way. It was in 1866. They decided to use a large quantity of dynamite. The gas killed 4 men, and the name was then changed to the Grotta dei Morti, or the Cave of the Dead. Their remains are still there. Someone put them in a niche. There are just a few bones, not complete skeletons. A half skull, some thigh bones. You may imagine a bit of time has passed since 1864. The story of the search for the River of the Night never comes to an end. It just develops afresh with each new generation of cave workers, both ancient and modern. Excavating in the cold caves of the karst is a tradition that still warms people's souls. Age has very little to do with it. Those who most search for Timavo are now in their 70s. It has always been a great mystery that has always fascinated us. Our caving researchers have always aimed at finding a window on this mythical river. When we won't make it anymore, we will hand the baton to somebody else. But in the meantime, we go on. Hope of reaching the Timavo was well founded. In 1998, it happened. In the cave Lazzaro Gerco, a group of men had been digging a number of vertical pits over 2 years, removing tons of debris down to almost 100 meters in depth. In the end, they reached the shores of the mighty river. In no other activity would such an effort be possible, justified simply by a boundless passion. There is no passion even a 30-year-old man gives up. In particular for us GrottenarBeiter, passion is really strong. Last Saturday was our 113th mission in 2.5 years. We go out every single Saturday. I believe that sooner or later we will find another access to the river. In modern times, attempts to get closer to the mysteries of the underground river have also been made by underwater diving. In 1966, he was already operating as an underwater speleologist. He completely lost control of the situation and was swimming desperately. He was recovered half-conscious by his teammates. Climbing a mountain, no matter which it might be, is a much simpler task than following an underground river. The mountain is there and may be seen. The river lies hidden. The mountain is just one. The river is 1,000 lakes, rapids, cascades, passages, submerged and buried in the dark. This is why the challenge has continued for 200 years and will most probably never end.